Sometimes it seems that animals can understand that a person is dangerous before anything bad actually happens. A dog suddenly growls at a stranger. A horse refuses to let someone come closer. A cat hides, even though it normally greets visitors without fear. Because of stories like these, many people asked the same question. Can animals really detect bad people? Or does it only seem that way? Animals do not divide people into good and bad the way humans do. They do not judge character. They do not know our intentions, and they cannot read minds. But they do have one important advantage. They notice details that humans often ignore. For most animals, survival has always depended on recognizing danger as quickly as possible. That is why many species are extremely sensitive to body language. A person may appear completely normal, yet an animal may notice tension in their posture, sudden movements, or signs of stress. We listen to promises. We pay attention to appearance. 2. Communication style. 2. First impressions. Animals work differently. They focus almost entirely on behavior, on what is happening right now. A person may smile and speak calmly, but their movements may remain tense. Animals are exceptionally good at detecting. Dogs provide one of the best examples. Research suggests that dogs can distinguish between friendly and threatening human behavior. When a person behaves aggressively or nervously, a dog may react before the people around them notice anything unusual. But vision is only part of the story. Many animals have an extraordinary sense of smell. Dogs can detect chemical changes occurring in the human body. For example, they may sense fear, anxiety, or intense stress. Humans rarely notice these signals. For animals, they can be much easier to detect. There is another reason why animals sometimes seem unusually accurate when judging situations. Unlike humans, animals are not distracted by reputation, appearance, social status, or first impressions. A person may look friendly. They may speak politely, but animals respond to behavior rather than image. To them, actions matter more than appearances. This is one reason why animals can sometimes react differently to a person than the people around them do. While humans may focus on words, animals focus on signals, and signals are often much harder to hide. Part 2. There is another question worth asking. If animals are so good at reading behavior, can they be fooled? The answer is yes. Animals are not perfect lie detectors. A calm and confident person may appear completely harmless, and sometimes an animal may not react at all. But animals often notice things that humans overlook. Small changes in posture, unnatural movements, a forced smile, a sudden shift in tone, signals that may seem insignificant on their own. The important difference is that animals are constantly paying attention. Humans often become distracted by appearance, reputation, or first impressions. Animals do not care about any of those things. They focus on what they can directly observe. That is why an animal's reaction can sometimes surprise the people around it. Not because the animal understands good and evil, but because it is responding to signals that others have not noticed yet. And while animals can certainly make mistakes, their ability to read behavior has been shaped by survival for thousands of generations. For many species, noticing danger even a few seconds earlier could make the difference between safety and harm. There is another reason why animals are so effective at recognizing potential danger. Many species evolved in environments where mistakes could be costly. For predators, a mistake could mean losing a meal. For prey animals, a mistake could mean losing their lives. As a result, animals evolved to notice even the smallest changes in the world around them. The direction of a gaze, the position of the shoulders, muscle tension, movement speed. Even subtle behavioral changes may be interpreted as important information. Sometimes an animal begins acting strangely around a person before anyone else notices a problem. People often describe these situations as mysterious, but in many cases, there is a perfectly reasonable explanation. The animal is noticing many small signals at the same time. Each signal alone may seem insignificant, but together they create a larger picture. A picture that humans may recognize much later. There is another important factor: memory. Imagine a dog that once experienced abuse. Years later, if it encounters a person with similar movements, voice patterns, or scent, that old reaction may return. From the outside, it can seem as though the dog knows that the person is bad. In reality, it is responding to familiar signs of possible danger. The same thing happens with many other animals. They constantly compare new experiences with old ones. That is why two different people may receive completely different reactions from the same animal. But does this mean animals are never wrong? Of course not. Animals can misjudge situations too. Sometimes they become frightened for no reason. Sometimes they react to an unusual smell, clothing style, or behavior. That is why an animal's reaction should never be treated as proof that someone is a bad person. Animals do not understand the human idea of a bad person. They do not think in terms of morality, honesty, or evil. Instead, they react to what they can observe. 2 signs of danger. 2 unusual behavior. 2 experiences they remember. However, animals are often capable of detecting signs of tension, aggression, and danger faster than humans. They do not see into a person's soul. They do not read minds. And they do not possess supernatural abilities. But millions of years of evolution have taught them to notice signals that humans frequently overlook. So when an animal suddenly becomes cautious around someone, it may be noticing something that we have not seen yet.